Work hard, study a lot, be honest, and one day, maybe, you'll succeed. That's the most well-told lie in history. While you kill yourself trying to follow this script, the truly rich are playing a different game. Silent, strategic, and ruthless. They don't sell their time. They buy other people's time. They don't live off effort. They live off influence, information, and systems that work for them. Hard work was designed to keep you busy, exhausted, and far from power. The elite never got rich through sweat, but through leverage. And while you glorify sacrifice, they master systems. The question is, how long will you keep believing in this effort fairy tale, while the ones who truly profit from it laugh from the top? Wealth is not a matter of luck, effort, or merit. It's a meticulously engineered game, and the rules were written so that a few win while the majority remain trapped. If you think hard work will take you to the top, you're mistaken. The system was designed to make sure that never happens. Since the beginning of human history, the powerful have known that true control doesn't come from brute force, but from the subtle manipulation of others' perceptions and beliefs. The Rothschilds understood this. So did the Rockefellers. They didn't build empires because they were harder workers. They built empires because they realized something very simple. Money creates money, but it must be protected by the fear and ignorance of others. Central banks, created to centralize control, financial markets, a hunting ground where the few prey while millions serve as targets. Machiavelli smiles in the background. He already knew. The ends justify the means. The financial elite has always played dirty. They buy politicians, shape laws, manipulate currencies. When we talk about the Federal Reserve or the European Central Bank, we're talking about institutions that print money out of thin air. While you're still counting coins at the end of the month, they don't need to cheat openly. They control the entire board. And here comes the final trick. You were indoctrinated to believe the system is fair. Since childhood, you've been told, if you work hard, you'll be rewarded. They lied to you. Meritocracy is the greatest modern fairy tale, a narrative sold to the poor so they keep blaming themselves for their own misery. While you run on the treadmill, they build new floors above your head. You were born into a world that was never meant to benefit you. From the moment you began to understand concepts like work and success, you were conditioned to believe that the path to prosperity was clear and accessible. Just study, work hard, be honest, and stay persistent. But that idea is a carefully packaged lie, sold to the middle class to keep it stuck in the hamster wheel, running without ever moving forward. The reality is brutal. Hard work doesn't make anyone rich. Repeat that until it sticks in your mind. Hard work creates exhaustion. Exhaustion breeds obedience. Obedience feeds the system. That's how it works. Do you really think Silicon Valley billionaires got rich by coding 18 hours a day? Number, they understood the value of scale. A piece of software created once can be sold millions of times with no additional cost. They dominated entire markets before anyone even noticed. And when the state tries to regulate them, they hire the best lawyers and pay to change the laws. Historically, it has always been this way. In Victorian England, industrialists amassed fortunes while children died in factories. In 19th century America, robber barons used railroads and oil to build empires. Today, tech moguls do the same with data and algorithms. The names change, the methods evolve, but the outcome is identical. Power concentrated in the hands of a few. Nietzsche was right. The superior man must rule the inferior. The global financial elite acts like a Hobbesian leviathan, making sure the rest of us stay domesticated. They don't want rivals. They want pawns. Pawns who dream big, yes, but never big enough to threaten their pedestal. Understand this. Hard work doesn't make anyone rich. Say it with me. Hard work doesn't make anyone rich. That mantra is a manufactured illusion designed to keep the middle class stuck in the hamster wheel. Hard work creates exhaustion. Exhaustion breeds obedience. Obedience feeds the system. That's how it works. Do you really think Silicon Valley billionaires got rich by coding 18 hours a day? They understood the value of scale. A piece of software created once can be sold millions of times with no additional cost. They dominated entire markets before anyone even noticed. And when the state tries to regulate them, they hire the best lawyers and pay to rewrite the rules. Historically, it has always been this way. In Victorian England, industrialists amassed fortunes while children died in factories. In 19th century America, robber barons used railroads and oil to consolidate empires. Today, tech moguls do the same with data and algorithms. Names change, methods evolve, but the result is identical: power concentrated in the hands of a few. Nietzsche was right. The superior man must rule the inferior. The global financial elite acts like a Hobbesian leviathan, ensuring the rest of us remain domesticated. They don't want rivals, they want pawns. Pawns who dream big, yes, but never big enough to threaten their pedestal. Want to know how the real players do it? Here's the recipe. Leverage. They use money to generate more money. They buy assets that produce income automatically. Real estate, stocks, promising startups. Meanwhile, you trade time for a paycheck. Monopolies. They control entire markets. Amazon dominates online retail. Google controls search. Facebook, or Meta, owns social media. Any real competition is crushed before it even begins. Political influence. They pay to have laws shaped in their favor. Too big to fail, banks receive billion-dollar bailouts, while small businesses go bankrupt during crises. Psychological control. They use marketing and media to shape your beliefs. Motivational quotes, clever propaganda, celebrities flaunting luxury, shiny bait to hook your dreams. It's all designed to keep you consuming, producing, and obeying. Success doesn't come from effort. It comes from strategy. It comes from cold calculation. You clock in at 8 a.m., clock out at 7 p.m., sit in traffic, get home exhausted, and still applaud when someone says, "Work harder and success will follow." Lies. You're just feeding the machine. Meanwhile, they multiply capital. They invest in disruptive startups. They buy real estate in emerging areas. They exploit tax loopholes. They turn debt into profit. They don't trade time for money. They buy time. They hire people to do the heavy lifting. They automate processes. They multiply efficiency. And you know what hurts the most? They need you to believe in this system. They need you to dream about the next promotion, the annual raise, the comfortable retirement. Because while you dream, they plan, they build, they dominate. You have two options. Keep being an obedient pawn, following rules that were never designed to benefit you. Learn the game and start playing it. Yes, ethics are involved. Yes, there are moral dilemmas. But understand this: the system is already corrupted. It's not your duty to save the world alone. Be smart. Use what you learn to build something better, or simply to escape this invisible prison. If Nietzsche were alive today, he'd say, "The overman does not accept the chains imposed by the weak." Stop accepting limitations. Stop believing in false promises. Stop blaming yourself. Until next time. And remember, the strong don't trade time for money. They buy time, and they master money. But hey, go on believing in meritocracy if you want. Who knows? Maybe one day your grandchildren will thank you for spending your entire life as a well-behaved pawn.